So, what do you want to know? I was born in La Ceiba, Honduras. It was beautiful. Economy was excellent. We were fine. But there are always reasons that make you sometimes take a decision to leave your country. My husband, the father of my kids, he was very abusive. I tried to leave him several times when he hit me, but there was no way, because in Honduras it was, like you have to do what the husband said. And when I left to my mom, he will go and pick me up, and I will have to go back with him. So the only way that I could get away from him was leaving the country. I left Honduras August 14, 1982. And it was about a month when the notice came that they have a trip to the United States. So then the trip came and we took off the tugboat. It was called Miss Patricia. I went on a deck and it was really dark. And I started praying. And I said, God, I beg you, please, lighten the way for me to get in this country. Make this journey easy for me, that one day I can bring my kids and give them a better future. So help me, God. Give me a signal and let me know that everything is going to be okay. Otherwise, I come back in this boat and I go back home. And suddenly, I saw a huge star fall in the water. I saw right in there, it fell in the water. And I felt like it was like a happiness, like I said, so that means it's okay. It's fine what I'm doing. And we arrived in Galveston about 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I took the bus to New York to meet my brother. Immediately, I started looking for a job. So I saw the newspaper and I said, they have newspaper in Spanish here. That's when I, because I went outside and I see it. I said, but this is ugly. This is not like Honduras. This is not, we have the trees, it's beautiful and everything. And I saw all those drunkies and people with drugs and everything in the Bronx, Morris Avenue, in the Bronx. And I said, my God, what did I do? This is very ugly here. And then I said, I'm going back to Honduras. So when I went back, I bought the newspaper and I went back to the apartment. And I told my brother, I said, Mario, this is ugly here. How can you live here? Why don't you go back to Honduras? And he said, oh no, then when you get used to it and whatever. So then I started looking in the newspaper and I saw that this Jewish family were looking for a living nanny. I worked with that family for 3 years. But meantime, I went to school. So I worked for 27 years in the fashion industry. And now I'm here. I took advantage of the opportunities, not taking advantage in the bad way. I took advantage because I worked for 7 days a week for $120 a week, taking care of 3 children that were not mine, cleaning a house that wasn't mine, but I did my best because I wanted to survive in this country. 5 years after, I went to pick up my kids to Honduras, and I was already attending Fashion Institute of Technology. So when I went to Honduras to pick them up, their father was a little bit reluctant because his ego, like macho ego. Well, he told me that if I didn't stay with him, I wouldn't see my kids. So I had to sleep with him. I had to stay with him in order to get my kids. I was afraid because usually when there is 4 kids, they only stamp 2 and then they leave 2. But I was lucky because they gave me the 5 visas. So when they came, they had the same shock that I had. They didn't like it. They didn't like it, so they wanted to go back. Now they won't go, not even if they get paid. It's a big struggle right now because Honduras is what Cuba was in the 60s. It's not the Honduras I left, because 37 years ago Honduras was a paradise. The Honduras now is violence and drugs. There are people who still, surviving there, but they have to carry arms. They have to have a gun or a bodyguard or something, or risk that you get out of your house and you don't know if you're coming back. I can say that I'm proud to be an immigrant, and I am proud that I brought 4 kids to this country that are providing for this country. I raised them without taking a penny from the state. Not all the immigrants come here to take advantage of the system. So this is an example that we come and we are the fabric of this country, because this country was formed and built by immigrants. When I see people going to church and they have a Bible in their hands, but on the other hand, they're refusing to look at an immigrant person that is looking for refuge and trying to reach for a better life, trying to reach to give something better to their children. And how can I recite and say, Jesus is my Savior, when in fact, I look at the other person the other way? And I will say that when Jesus say, love your neighbor, he didn't say love your neighbor only the ones you like. He said love your neighbor. It doesn't matter what color, what religion, what nationality. He just said love your neighbor in general. We are all immigrants. That's all I can say. We are all immigrants. We all came in a different way. Some came on a Mayflower boat. Some came on a different boat. Some came walking. Some came in a tugboat like I did. But we are all immigrants. I was born in Honduras. I own my birth to Honduras. But this is where I learned to be who I am. This is my country.